You know, I recently went through what we're going to be talking about, where families are finding themselves managing inherited assets for the first time during a volatile stock market, inflation, and of course global events, which can make financial decisions feeling a little bit overwhelming, and you definitely need some help, right? Joining us right now with some practical guidance, and we're on your side with AJ Ruffin with Jefferson Matthews Solution. How are you doing?
Doing good, Sheldon, man. First of all, our condolences, man, on the loss of your father. So
I appreciate that. My dad passed away back in April, and dealing with some of these things. So when you're dealing with assets and stuff, one thing that I found, I really didn't know anything about it, and you had to know some things.
Man, this can be a sensitive subject matter because a lot of people don't want to talk about it and have conversations about transitioning to end of life. And so they don't have the conversation with their loved ones or whoever they inherit the money or the property. And so it makes for a stressful time for the individual. So I always suggest that when you're getting ready to plan your estate plan, you should make sure you got the 4 principles down. You should make sure you have a will, a trust, an advanced healthcare directive, and a power of attorney. This way it starts the blueprint so that you won't be forced into navigating times that you're not prepared for. Yeah.
One of the things that I didn't have to deal with, but I didn't really know a whole lot about, were the IRAs that were in my dad's name because I was listed as a beneficiary. But there are some rules and guidelines that deal with that.
There are major rules. So one thing about it is that, Sheldon, you're in the baby boomer generation, and the baby boomer generation has done the best job at saving towards retirement. Collectively, your generation have north of $37 trillion saved towards retirement. The thing about that is that nobody teaches you how to have an exit strategy behind it. So they come up a few years ago with the Secure Act, and the Secure Act has a rule on inheritance. So if you are a spouse, you have the lifetime to stretch out the taxation of inherited IRAs. But if you're an heir or just a direct beneficiary, you have a 10-year obligation to satisfy that. The unfortunate piece behind that is now you're facing times to where you could be at the pinnacle of your earnings. And so now you inherit an IRA from your loved ones or properties, and now that inflates your tax problem. You might do like the Bible. You might tell your loved one, Lazarus, rise up, come forth. So we can do some planning now to help mitigate that. So you want to make sure that you have a financial advisor around. We are here, 877-4855, and have an attorney and CPAs to make sure they can navigate you through these times.
Am I right in the conversation that I was having was the 10 years involves the children of the inheritance? If you're a spouse, you don't necessarily have that?
Yeah, so the spouse, they still have the lifetime or their lifetime to stretch it. But it's just not children, it's whoever the heirs are. They have 10 years, so you can play it in increments up to 10 years, or you have that one lump sum payment of the tax liability behind it.
But then you got to deal with the taxes.
And
what about when it comes to inherited stocks or real estate?
That's different. You got to step up in cost basis on that one. So especially on the real estate side, if you sell the real estate after the cost basis step up, you still would not have a taxation or potentially no long-term capital gains as long as the value is the value at the time of death of that person that you received it from. After that, you will have a tax implication behind it. And so it's all predicated on which vehicle of the bucket come from, tax deferred, tax free, or taxable. And so everything has some kind of tax obligation behind it.
So you do need to know information about the taxes. Where do you find that? Where do you need to get that information from?
Well, I always say sit down with the financial professional.
Absolutely.
To make sure that it's not guesswork. And so that when you have this conversation with your family and your loved ones, you have a creative plan to make sure they don't go just splurge all the money and blow it, and make sure that your hard-earned dollars, you maximize it, and you're just not all turning it back to Uncle Sam, because all of us have uncle, but very few of us have uncles named Sam.
I understand right there. Inheritance and deaths, and we apologize and feel condolences to anybody that might be going through that.
Absolutely, you know what I'm saying? All of us, we got 2 things we got to do in life. We got to pay your taxes and we got to leave here.
Absolutely. Hey, AJ Ruffin right there. We certainly do appreciate you and heed his advice right there. He knows what he's talking about. AJ, thanks again.
Oh, thank you, Sheldon.